Hey everyone, welcome to the Everyday Human Podcast. My name is Easton Taverna. Each day I'll share a reflection written by me and inspired by literature, poetry, music, movies, video games, and more. And after that, I'll share a prompt for you to write your own reflection. Together, we'll explore what it means to be human. Every month, we'll walk a new path, taking a look at life, death, the universe, and everything in between. Thanks for coming along. I'm glad you're here. For more, visit eastontaverna.com or join me on Instagram at _everydayhuman. Hello, everyone. We've arrived at January 31st and the end of the month. Remarkable. In some ways, it was a good month. In other ways, it feels like a month that has lasted years. Time is a fickle and relative thing, I suppose. But I hope you're hanging in there and doing well. Today's episode is titled To Change or Not to Change. And it was inspired by a quote from Gabriel García Márquez's novel, Love in the Time of Cholera. Gabriel García Márquez was a Colombian writer and journalist, and he's considered one of the most significant authors of the 20th century. He also received the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1982. And his book 100 Years of Solitude sold more than 50 million copies, which is pretty incredible. That's a lot of books. All right, let's get to the quote. His uncle was angry with him because of the manner in which he had thrown away the good position of telegraph operator in Villa de Leyva, but he allowed himself to be swayed by his conviction that human beings are not born once and for all on the day their mothers give birth to them, but that life obliges them over and over again to give birth to themselves. All right, and here is the reflection. People just don't change. In my 20s and early 30s, you'd have found me muttering that phrase or something like it, often when I'd be disappointed in someone's repeated negative actions and failures. The reason for that, I think it's fair to say at this point, after years of reflection, was that my father never changed, and not in a stalwart and stoic way, unfortunately. When I was 14, my mother, brother, sister, and I, and a few of my father's own brothers and sisters, held an intervention for him. His drinking and drug problem had gotten to the point that my mother had to draw a line in the sand. Get clean or leave. After we'd all read our letters, he sat there looking around the room at each of us and said, "Well, I guess I'm leaving then." And he did. He got up and went to a bar to drown his sorrows and complain to anyone who'd listen about how unfair the treatment was, I'm sure. Fast forward to 2017, and he'd be found dead alone in his apartment after multiple relapses. It seems he just never changed. And if you look at those around you, the people in your life, in the news and on TV and on your phone, it's easy to assume that they don't change either. And that might be true, but it's also not fair to make that assumption, because what you see isn't the full picture. What you see is a mask, or a carefully curated collage of behaviors, images, and reels to give you an impression of a steady and consistent life. So of course it looks like they aren't changing. And you might even begin to think, boy, I wish I could live a steady and consistent life like that. But it's a facade, a mirage. The truth I've come to learn is that we are all changing, whether we like it or not, whether intentional or not, whether perceptible or not, whether subtle or not. It's impossible to remain the same. It's just that some of us are changing for the better and some for the worse. You aren't static from the moment you're born. You might have tendencies and expressions and habits that you carry throughout life, but with each day and with each experience and interaction with nature and with others, you change, sometimes in a major and noticeable way, sometimes in ways so small you don't even know it's happening. Once you realize that life is nothing but change, and that nature is changing all around you, and you are part of nature, with every moment, every second that you spend with others, and with the seasons, and the rain, and the snow, and sun, and leaves, you can actively make the decision to change, and not just wait for it to happen to you, because life gives you that chance over and over again, each day, each moment, the chance to give birth to your new self. And that ends the reflection for January 31st. And for your reflection question, you can ask yourself the following. How have I changed or not changed recently? Will today be the day I choose to change for the better? Okay, and there ends the last reflection for January 2026. That's exciting. That's 31 episodes, 31 reflections, 31 reflection questions. Pretty cool. Thanks for joining me for this first month of the Everyday Human. Now, what comes next? So obviously we are moving into February tomorrow, and the theme for that month is on life. And we'll be kicking that off with a favorite quote of mine that comes from Seneca on the shortness of life. And when we get to this new month and this theme, obviously there may be some overlap between existence and life, but I think that's part of the fun, because as we move through these months and these themes, like, for example, March we get to on death, April we get to on nature. To me, it's all part of the experience of being human. Everything is connected. We are all connected to each other, to nature, to the planet, our experiences. And that's kind of the whole point of this book. And that was the journey I went on last year when I was looking at these quotes, reading these books, thinking about them every single day. And yeah, I don't know. It's just fun to explore this. And I'm happy now to do it with you, with someone else other than myself and my own thoughts rattling around in my head. Okay. Anyway, that's it for today. Tomorrow we're gonna continue right into February with On Life, and we're gonna keep going. And hopefully soon I'll have some exciting news about the book version of The Everyday Human and the companion journal. But stay tuned for more. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow, February 1st. Have a good one and take care.